Silk 106.9.
So I've been really lucky to work in an industry that brings fun, excitement. I play great music and I speak with some exceptional talent. Now, as you can see, I personally am in the presence of greatness. I've got the legend and Trentham Live headliner. On Sunday, the 5th of September, Mr. Alfie Bow is with me. I'm so bit starstruck. How are you, Alfie?
I'm good, thank you, Matt. I didn't know where that intro was going. It could have gone either way. It could have gone like, but today, unfortunately, my career's taken a slide and I'm talking to Alfie Bow.
It's unbelievable. Can I just say before we get into this that thank you very much for sharing your time with me. It really is an absolute honour.
Oh, bless you, man. Thank you. That's a pleasure.
Now, Alfie, it's been a tough couple of months. The whole world's gone through times we never expected. How has it been for you?
Oh, well, you know, I can't complain, really. A lot of people have had it a lot worse than I have. You know, it's been it's been hard professionally, not being able to perform, not being able to get on stage and play in front of the crowds and do the jobs I want to do and do what I got into this profession to do. It was to perform live in front of an audience, and so it's been really tough. We've tried to make it work with Les Mis in the West End, and then it's always seemed to have come crashing down, unfortunately, because of the tier 3s and tier 4s and all that sort of business. But I think we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting there. Things are planning. People are planning concerts, planning festivals. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to get through this and start to learn how to live with it, really.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing is, the industry that obviously you directly working with theatres, it's been hammered, hasn't it? It really has. It really has. And what's unfortunate is that people have been crying out for live entertainment. It's what people go to get a release of emotion and a release of energy, and to be able to absorb art and culture and things like that. It's very therapeutic. And it can be like a medicine in itself for certain people, you know. So that having that taken away from the audience as well has put people in the state of mind where that when they get the chance to go to a live show, I think they're just going to want to let themselves go and have a good time. Yeah, I think I've had the privilege of speaking to the guys from the Vamps earlier, and I asked them what to expect, and they just said, we're going to go crazy. We're going mad.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we will do as fans, won't we?
Exactly. I'm going to do the same on my show. I'm going to, it's literally up-tempo, dancey songs, get everybody laughing, get everybody up on their feet. I'm going to run out into the crowd and hug every single one of them. It's like...
I can't wait for it. But I want to take you back a little bit, because I feel as though your music's been around for decades with some of the absolute greats of the industry. How did you get into music, and who inspired you?
Well, I've been a fan of music since I was born, since before I was born. I remember a story of my mother saying that I kicked a cup of tea off her stomach when she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
And because I heard Glenn Miller, and she was watching a movie, and Glenn Miller, it was the Glenn Miller story, and there was a drum solo in there, and as soon as the drum solo started, my legs just went flying and kicked this cup of tea off her stomach. And so my influences for me, people that inspired me, I could go on the personal level and I could go on the professional level. Elvis, Freddie Mercury on the professional level, seeing them perform, hearing their voices, the vibrancy about them as people, and the power that they had to be able to command a crowd is amazing, and really, really inspired me. On a personal level, my father was a big influence on me with his choice of music, and how he always used to sing around the house. The records collection was vast and varied, and it was my first education really when it came to music. So yeah, my dad was a big influence on me. And I just got into it really as an amateur, just around the Blackpool, singing in nightclubs, working men's clubs, amateur productions of shows and things like that. And then I got advised by a customer at the garage, the car factory that I was working at, that I had a good voice because he heard me singing along to the radio. And he said, go down to London, audition for this company and see what happens. And I did. I took the day off work and I got taken on, man. I got taken on and got given an opportunity to be a professional singer.
And am I right in saying that a lot of this started where, hopefully my research is good, that you worked backstage at the Blackpool Opera House doing security? I
did. I was actually started working at the Blackpool Opera House when I was supposed to be going to sixth form school. But I used to stay on the bus and miss school, get changed at the back of the bus, and then go to work at the Blackpool Opera House, in my spare time, and then get back into my uniform and go home. Mother always thought I was going to school until I got a letter sent home that I was never there.
Obviously, you've done some phenomenal albums, some great collaborations, obviously Michael Ball most recently. How did that actually happen? How did you get to be working with him? Because I've read some of the best boy band is
Yeah, I think that's what Michael tells himself. In reality, it's an old man band, I think now. We worked together. Oh wow, how long ago? 12 years, 13 years ago. We worked together on a production in the West End, a production called Kismet. Wonderful music, amazing story, terrible production.
Oh,
it was awful. It was that we got slated. So it was that bad. People were buying tickets to come back and see how bad it was. It was such a terrible production. People wanted to see how bad it was, and they weren't disappointed.
At least you were selling tickets.
Yeah, we were selling tickets. It sold out, but it got terrible reviews. But from that, myself and Michael formed a really strong relationship, good friendship, and we got this real brotherly kindred spirit together. And he invited me on his prom concert, and that was the first time we sang together, because we never sang in the show together, in Kismet together.
Oh, wow.
We never had a scene together or anything like that. So the first duet that we did together was at the Royal Albert Hall on his prom concert. And then we talked about teaming up and doing a few more things together. And then it sort of dwindled and disappeared. And then 5 years later, I called him up and said, that idea that you had about getting together, do you want to give it another shot? And he says, yeah, why not? He said, do you think we need to find a third person? So there's like three of us. And I said, I really don't. I think we could do this on our own. I think we could just do ball and bow and make this work. And we teamed up. And initially it was just going to be concerts. It was just going to be like a few concert halls, a few theatres. But then the record company got wind of it and said, let's do an album. And so they signed Michael. I was already signed with them, but then they signed Michael and we teamed up, and the rest is history, really. And
it obviously worked on the back of that. Now, I appreciate you've got a hectic schedule, but I've got to ask you, you've played on some iconic arenas, some amazing settings. I've read somewhere that the Royal Opera House is somewhere you've frequented quite often. You even moonwalked across the stage in the final performance of Romeo and Juliet. My question, Alfie, to you is, Trentham Gardens in Staffordshire is the setting for Trentham Live. Do we get to see Alfie Bow do the moonwalk?
I'll do a moonwalk for you on that night. I promise. I will do a moonwalk. If I can do it at the Royal Opera House, I can do it at Trentham Gardens. I can do it there.
That's fantastic. Now, obviously, Trentham Gardens in Staffordshire, 5th of September, you're going to be live on stage. You're going to bring the party. You've already mentioned to us that you are going to let go. This is months of build-up. What I've got to ask for you is, to any fans who haven't yet got tickets, what's your message?
go and get your tickets fast, because they are going, and it's going to be a great show. It's going to be the introduction to live music again. We've got a great weekend of music that weekend, and I'm part of it, and you won't want to miss out on it.
Your station.